Today, we're looking at something pretty wild. How Laravel, a framework you probably think you already have pegged, has completely morphed into this massive, high-performance enterprise ecosystem in 2026. Seriously, this isn't just a fresh coat of paint or a minor update. It's a total, fundamental shift in how we build, scale, and integrate modern backend infrastructure. So let's unpack this metamorphosis together. Now, let's just address the elephant in the room. For years, right, PHP was the language everyone loved to say was, well, dying. It kind of had this reputation of being just a legacy web language, the thing you'd use to spin up a quick blog, definitely not the backbone of an enterprise system. But the landscape in 2026 demands serious cloud-native scalability and incredibly fast time to market. And as we're going to see, modern Laravel has systematically smashed those old stereotypes. It's not a relic. It's actually a hyper-capable backbone for some of the most advanced AI infrastructures out there today. And that brings us to this point right here. With Laravel 13 dropping in March 2026, the framework basically stopped being just a handy tool for scaffolding web apps. It evolved into a full-blown strategic engineering platform. So what does that actually mean for us? It means modern Laravel now goes toe-to-toe with strictly compiled languages. It's doing this by leveraging persistent runtimes and native AI paradigms. And honestly, the best part? You can adopt all these cutting-edge features without having to gut your mature systems or swallow the massive technical debt of an expensive rewrite. Okay, looking at this support matrix, the reality for enterprise architects in 2026 is pretty stark. Laravel 10 and 11, completely end of life. Laravel 12 is strictly in its security patch phase. So moving to Laravel 13 is absolutely crucial if you're in a regulated industry and need to stay compliant. But here's the good news. Laravel 13 was engineered with a zero disruption philosophy. As long as your environment supports PHP 8.3, this upgrade basically strips away legacy technical debt and lets you transition with almost zero breaking changes. It's a remarkably smooth path. All right, Section 1, Unleashing Speed with Octane. To really grasp this transformation, you have to understand the underlying architecture. Historically, PHP used a shared nothing model with PHP FPM. Think of it like starting a car from a completely dead battery every single time you want to move an inch. Every HTTP request meant the server had to wake up, rebootstrap the entire framework, load configs, process the requests, and then instantly destroy all that memory state. Super secure? Yeah. A total nightmare for scaling? Absolutely. But then, enter Laravel Octane. Under Octane, the app boots exactly once. It keeps these high-powered worker processes persistently pre-warmed in memory, just sitting there ready to instantly handle sequential requests. And the result of that architectural shift? 2 milliseconds. Seriously. By ditching that continuous bootstrap penalty, response times for trivial routes absolutely plummet, from around 15 milliseconds all the way down to under 2 milliseconds. The logic executes practically instantly. Now sure, this isn't some magic wand that fixes a terrible database query, but it drastically cuts down CPU spikes during heavy traffic. It literally lets your existing infrastructure handle way more traffic before you ever have to open your wallet for horizontal scaling. And this raw speed pairs beautifully with Laravel Cloud's elasticity. Because Octane makes booting so unbelievably efficient, Laravel Cloud introduced this scale to zero feature. Basically, when traffic stops, your entire stack, the database, the cache, the compute nodes, just hibernates. Your hosting costs practically vanish. Then a new request comes in, boom, the whole dormant stack wakes up and is fully operational in under 500 milliseconds. That is a massive 20x speed improvement over legacy cold starts. It means you can run experimental microservices for almost zero financial risk. Moving on to Section 2, the AI native paradigm. Now, this concept right here is absolutely vital for understanding modern backends. The Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is an open standard that lets external AI clients, think Claude Desktop, Cursor, or your custom enterprise chatbots, securely interact with software. Laravel 13 uses its own MCP package to basically turn your app into a secure MCP server, meaning you can expose your backend to these AI tools safely without having to duct tape a bunch of messy Python middleware to it. Your AI can safely trigger billing workflows or read database context, all fully authenticated through Laravel's native security. Instead of treating large language models like these totally separate, disconnected microservices, Laravel rolls out this incredibly cohesive triad to make PHP a first-class citizen in the AI world. First up, you have the Laravel AI SDK, which lets your app talk fluently to any provider, OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, using just one unified API. Second is Laravel MCP, which we just touched on, letting AIs talk back to your app. And third is Laravel Boost. This is a brilliant dev tool that gives your AI coding assistants profound project-specific context so they actually understand your bespoke architecture and stop hallucinating outdated code. So the real game changer here is that developers can now natively orchestrate RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, without ever leaving the Laravel ecosystem. Look how clean this workflow is. You take your data, convert it to embeddings with the AI SDK, and then you just use a standard eloquent database query, a simple where vector similar to interface directly with PostgreSQL's pgvector extension. You're doing complex semantic similarity searches right inside your existing relational database. You get to completely skip the architectural headache and the massive bills of running a standalone vector database. All right, let's jump to Section 3, Infrastructure, Ecosystem, and Mobile. This next workflow completely flips mobile prototyping on its head. In the past, if you had a Laravel backend, you needed a totally separate team writing Swift or React Native to build the mobile app. Well, not anymore. With the maturity of native PHP Air, you can embed the PHP runtime directly inside a native mobile shell. You literally just write your unmodified PHP, scan a QR code with the free Bifrost Jump companion app, and instantly test your code on an actual iPhone or Android over local Wi-Fi. You can even trigger hardware APIs like the camera, GPS, or biometrics using pure PHP. It completely eliminates the need for complex macOS hardware compilation while you're prototyping. Which brings us to Section 4, Security, Economics, and Strategy. Okay, we have to talk about security, and we need to be candid here. Laravel has all the architectural components to be incredibly secure, but it heavily relies on deliberate manual setup. The flip side of having all that amazing flexibility is this. A whopping 42% of vulnerabilities in Laravel environments come directly from developer misconfiguration. The framework gives you all the power in the world, but it doesn't hold your hand. And that is a really crucial thing to keep in mind when you're staffing up your engineering teams. So put that into perspective, let's look at Django over in the Python world. Django is known for being secure by default. It only takes about 5 manual steps to totally lock down an app. Laravel, on the other hand, takes about 12 steps to achieve that exact same security posture. So while Django might be the safer out-of-the-box choice if you don't have dedicated security folks, Laravel offers absolutely unparalleled flexibility for experienced software architects. It lets you mold the framework to fit incredibly specific enterprise compliance needs. And speaking of experienced architects, let's look at the economics of global talent in 2026. The landscape has shifted dramatically. Hiring a senior Laravel architect in North America is going to run you anywhere from $140 to $180 an hour. But if you partner with the newly matured premium Laravel workforce in India, you're looking at roughly $38 to $55 an hour. We are talking about a massive 60 to 70% reduction in capital expenditure, and you're getting true top-tier enterprise quality. And if you're thinking this is just a race to the bottom for cheap labor, the ecosystem data completely proves otherwise. Laracon India 2026 had over 3,000 attendees. And guess what? They entirely skipped the basic tutorials. This community was hyper-focused on profound, complex architectural stuff, strict AI engineering, LLM orchestration, high-frequency analytical databases. This kind of economic efficiency lets organizations strategically shift their budget away from expensive domestic maintenance and pour those funds straight into high-end AI innovation and massively accelerating their product roadmaps. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative question. Take a hard look at the systems your organization relies on right now. Are they actually prepared for the AI-native, cross-platform realities of 2026 that we just covered? From instantly waking microservices to natively executing semantic searches and compiling PHP directly onto an iPhone, the standard for what a backend framework has to deliver has fundamentally changed forever. So, evaluate your infrastructure against these new realities, because the future of enterprise development, it isn't coming, it's already here.